The old thoroughbred was barely standing when the first snow of winter touched the valley. His ribs showed beneath his dull chestnut coat. His breath came in shallow puffs of steam, and his once bright eyes had faded into a tired gray. No one in the small town remembered his name anymore. To them, he was just another sick horse left behind after the ranch closed. But to one man, long gone, he had once meant everything. His name had been Valor's Fire, a name that echoed through local racetracks years ago. Fast, proud, and loyal, he was trained by a young rider named Eli Turner, a man who treated him not as property, but as a brother. They had grown together on that very ranch, the boy who dreamed of glory and the horse who gave him wings. Eli believed that Valor wasn't just fast, he was alive in a way that few creatures were. Before each race, Eli would whisper, "We run as one." And for a time, it seemed like nothing could stop them. They won every local derby, every county race, and for a moment, they were the pride of the valley. Until the day everything changed. It was a cold morning at the state finals. The track was wet, the fog thick. Eli tightened the reins, ready to take off. But halfway through the race, another horse stumbled, crashing into Valor's Fire. The collision sent Eli flying. The crowd gasped. The boy didn't move. Eli Turner died before the sun set that day. Valor survived, but barely. His front leg was torn, and his spirit shattered. When the ranch shut down months later, the horse was left to wander the fields alone. No one wanted an injured, aging thoroughbred with a broken heart. Years passed. Seasons turned. The horse grew thin and weary. But each dawn he would stand at the fence, staring at the hills beyond the river, as if waiting for someone. Then, one stormy evening, something stirred in him. He began to walk. No one knew why or how, but the old thoroughbred left the pasture and started toward the hills. The rain came down in sheets, lightning flashed across the dark sky, but he kept going, one painful step after another. He followed a scent, a memory, something deep in his bones. He crossed frozen streams, mud-soaked roads, and the empty meadows where he and Eli used to train. Every few miles, he would stop, tremble, and almost fall, but then lift his head again, driven by something unseen. By dawn, he reached the edge of a forgotten hill. There, under an oak tree, stood a small wooden cross. The name had faded with time, but the scent, the earth, the place, he knew it, Eli Turner. The old horse approached slowly, his hooves sinking into the soft ground. He stopped before the grave and lowered his head, breathing against the soil as if greeting his rider one last time. His body quivered, not from cold, but from the ache of recognition. For hours he stood there, motionless, the wind swirling around him. And then, as the first light of morning broke through the clouds, something beautiful happened. The snow stopped. Sunlight spilled across the valley, golden and soft. Birds began to sing. The horse lifted his head one last time, looking toward the horizon, the same direction he and Eli had always raced. When the townsfolk found him later that morning, the scene was still. The old thoroughbred was lying peacefully beside the grave, his body still and calm, his eyes closed. They buried him next to Eli, under the same oak tree where he had stopped. And though the years would pass, some swore that on quiet mornings, when the mist hung low over the hills, you could still hear two heartbeats running together, the boy and his horse racing through eternity. Because some bonds never die.